Don't you say a word, 'cause I've heard it all.
Hi everyone, welcome back. Let's dive right in. So of course I'm starting out with my eyeshadow primers. I use 2 of them, and I'm starting out with a more liquid one, which is the Essence I Love Stage eyeshadow base, and I'm just dabbing that onto my eyes and then blending it out with my fingers, and then I'm using a brush to dip into the pot of the other primer, which is the Essence 2-in-1 eyeshadow primer, and then just blending that out with my fingers. I'm then going in with a fluffy brush into the MAC eyeshadow Shag. It is extremely old, you can't get it anymore, but any kind of brown shade will do. You could try Cork instead, and I'm just buffing that through my crease as a transition color. And the main palette I'm going to be using for this is the Viseart Editorial Brights palette, and I'm going in with the 2 reddish sort of maroon shades blended together on a MAC 217 brush and putting that directly in my outer corner and through my crease, and I'm really building that up because I like color and I want to make this as intense as possible. Viseart eyeshadows are incredibly pigmented, so it doesn't take much to build the color up. And then I'm going to be moving on to the purple shadow in the palette and using the exact same brush and putting that in the outer corner of my eye. I'm packing it on top of the red, but I'm not pulling it through my crease as much. I want that red to show at the top, but the purple to be more concentrated closer to my eye. I decided to do something a little bit different for my lower waterline. I'm using the Marc Jacobs Highliner Gel Crayon in the shade, I think it's Fine Wine. And normally I would put a black there, but I wanted to try a red. So I'm going to be taking that maroon shade from the Viseart palette and blending out the lower lash line waterline color with that eyeshadow. And it's going to look really, really intense. And this may not be a look that goes for everybody, but I wanted to try something a little bit different. I'm so used to putting black there that I wanted to see something different on me. For my brow bone shade, I'm going to be using MAC's Blanc type, which is another discontinued shade, which is really annoying because it's a great brow bone color for me. And I'm just using that to blend out the crease color. Moving on to what I think is the star of the show, I'm going to be using Stila's Glitter and Glow liquid eyeshadow in the shade Smoky Storm and applying that directly to my lid. I can't state enough how much I love these liquid shadows, and I use them straight out of the package with the applicator. I am so surprised about how good that applicator is at dispersing the product and actually fading it out. I have absolutely no issues getting a perfect blend with it. So I'm also going to be dabbing that along my inner corner and pulling it slightly down around my lower lash line. To even the outer edges out just a little bit, I decided to go back into the purple shadow in the Viseart palette on the MAC 217 brush and just dab that on top of the glitter on my outer corner. At this point, I felt like my outer corner color wasn't dark enough. I really do like to add a lot of dimension in that area, so I decided to go into a black shadow. You can use anything you want. I just happen to have the sleek Dark Mattes palette handy, and I think the shade is called Noir, but any black will do, and just put that in the outer corner. For once in my life, I did not want to add a big winged liner, but I do need some sort of a line because I am going to be putting false lashes on. So I'm going in with the Jessie's Girl Black Liquid Liner. I have to say I am not a fan of this. I know it's a brush tip, which I should be super excited about, but I'm just not loving the formula of it. For mascara, I'm going to be using the one that I have open right now, which is one of my favorites, and that is Essence's The False Lashes Mascara Dramatic Volume Unlimited. Love this mascara to pieces. My false lashes today are going to be by Tarte, and they are the Flirt False Lashes. They're not a super enormous pair. They're a little bit more subtle than I think I normally go for, and they are really easy to apply. I've been really impressed with Tarte's false lashes lately. Moving on to the rest of my face, I'm going to be using Lancome's Teint Idole 24-Hour Foundation in the shade 100 Ivoire in the neutral version. I don't know a whole lot about Lancome's foundations, but this one does have an N beside the shade Ivoire, so I'm assuming that's a neutral color. And of course, I'm just blending that onto my face with a damp Real Techniques Miracle Complexion Sponge. I never really change how I do my foundation. It's one of my least favorite things in makeup, so I pretty much never really try new tricks, but I'm just pressing that all over my face with that damp sponge. For bronzer, I'm going to be using an old staple, the Physicians Formula Butter Bronzer. This is just their bronzer shade, so it's not the lightest shade that they have, it's the second lightest. And I'm just putting that on the temples, the backs of my cheekbones, and slightly along my jawline. I am very matchy-matchy with my makeup, so I decided to go with a blush that I thought was going to match my eyes perfectly. This is the Too Faced Peach My Cheeks Melting Powder Blush in the shade Peach Berry. In the end, I found it was a little bit warmer than I was expecting, and it's not quite the same match as my eyes, but hey, it works. And to stick with that matching theme, I'm going to be using the Inglot Intense Sparkler in the shade number 11, which is pretty much the exact same color as the glitter that I put on my eyes. Now, I am so happy that I'm getting the opportunity to show you how this applies on camera because I posted a blog review of this product yesterday on my blog. I will link that down below. But the picture didn't show just how impressive this highlighter is, so there you go. For my brows, I'm going to be using a product that I've really fallen in love with over, I think it was the last year that I've been using it, and this is Inglot's AMC Brow Liner Gel in the shade number 12. It is ashy and a bit more gray tone than my hair, but that is how I like my brows to appear. So I really like the Maybelline Superstay Matte Inks. I'm sure you've heard me talk about them ad nauseum at this point, and I am using the shade Ruler. However, I have to say I really don't think the color ended up going very well with my eyes. I wanted to stick with that whole monochrome look, and I really don't think that this had enough purple in it, but I had intended the eyes to be a little bit more red, so overall it just kind of came together a little bit differently. So I tried to fix it by putting some of the purple powder from the Viseart palette on the outer corners of my lips and then blending that out with my finger, and I think that helped a little bit, but in hindsight, I'd probably choose another lip color if I were to do this look again. And then this shot is literally me just trying to figure out if I've salvaged the lip look enough to keep it. And frankly, in the end, I just decided it was fine. And that's what I was going to stick with. Thanks so much for watching the tutorial, and I'll catch you next time.
Leave me here, you were never good enough. Won't change a thing now, there was never trust. Don't you say a word, cause I've heard it all. You were just pain when you felt it all. Oh. Something tells me that I won't miss it. It's the first time that we can't fix it.